when games were nowhere close to the realistic creations of today. This one was real enough to give its writer nightmares. Brace yourselves for Missile Command.
1980. The USA finds itself in a predicament. A nuclear arms race with a powerful USSR. World War III rumors swirl as the Soviets boast mass nuclear quantities with destruction directed at the doorstep of America.
My fellow Americans, tonight we're launching an effort which holds the promise of changing the course of human history.
History is in the making, as well as a classic video game. Atari commissions unknown developer David Thurer to make a Cold War-themed game. The object? Protect LA, San Francisco, and 4 other California cities from inevitable doom in the form of a ballistic missile attack. Many sleepless nights commence for Thurer.
As he created Missile Command, he would actually have nightmares about nuclear war and being burned up in nuclear missiles. Something not unlike the instance that Sarah Connor had where she had the nightmares in the movie Terminator 2. Dave talks about the missiles coming down and he knows that his death is impending.
Atari learns of Dave's bad visions and dials the realism down a notch during production to avoid negative publicity. California is replaced by the fictional planet Zardon at the mercy of missile attacks from rival enemy planet Krytal. After months of tireless days and nights, Thurer's nightmare-laced project comes to life via 20,000 arcade cabinets. Missile Command invades the world with full force.
David did a fantastic job. What he did was he created a game that is unwinnable. And the player puts a quarter into the game. And as the game starts out, it starts very easy, and the player starts to build up a little confidence. Your goal is, as the missiles come down, you shoot your missiles up in an attempt to destroy them before they destroy your cities. By level 5, which is only about 3 minutes into the game, the average player is going to lose that quarter.
You lose. Demanding precision point accuracy to maneuver the target crosshair is a unique, whopping 4.5-inch diameter trackball. Add 3 adjacent launch buttons and everlasting enemy attacks, it's the recipe for stressful sensory overload.
The Missile Command ball was slightly bigger, and you were going to have to be more exact with it, and you were only going to be able to use one hand. The other hand must concentrate on 3 different firing bases, and the X on the screen corresponds with the ball. That was different than any of the games that were out before.
They introduced so many threats to the player at one time that the player is forced to deal with that it became really kind of a unique game in its own right. The level of intensity and the level of skill required to play that game is unprecedented.
In lieu of the industry standard game over text, the player sees a slightly different and darker message at the game's conclusion: the end. Ironically, the game's success has not seen its end yet. After it transcends from trackball to joystick on the Atari 2600 in 1981, it is ported to 50 other platforms over the next 3 decades.
At the time, there were no games like Missile Command that had come out. It was new, it was fresh, it was original. And the concept and gameplay have lasted over a quarter of a century.
Its latest venture, on the Xbox 360, is quite the visual leap from 1980. But today's chase to the top is straight up old school face-to-face with the original cabinet. William Carlton devotes his life to Missile Command supremacy, as seen in the 2006 South by Southwest Audience Award winner, High Score.
There is a little bit of fame with being a world record holder, but it's really in small circles. Like if I go to an event where it's nothing but classic arcade gaming, nowadays, I'm known when I go there. When I leave and I go back to work on Monday morning, I'm not signing autographs, I'm not doing meet and greets. I'm right back at work being a regular Joe.
Other regular Joes like Peter Hirschberg celebrate the game in their own way, like a personal 2,400 square foot retro home arcade, fully stocked with all the classics.
Missile Command is one of those games. You just gotta have it in your collection. It's one of the games that people look for when they come over to see video games. You know, they want to see Donkey Kong, they want to see Ms. Pac-Man, they want to see Missile Command. You can put people in front of it today that have never seen it before and they instantly get it.
After all, if it's good enough to train John Connor, the future savior of all humans, it's certainly good enough for all humanity.
Missile Command continues to be a popular game because it matches one of the very well-known game theories, which is make the game easy to play but difficult to master. It continues to stand out over time.